nobody takes it serious anymore. And then on the side of the plea bargaining, you see, we cannot be sitting here and be hiding behind your friends, constitutional phrases, jargons, and those kind of nonsense just to buy people way out. You see, Adia Bakwa Ghana for Gina somebody to Abama John Mahama Pa and say, hold these criminals accountable.
Exactly.
That term is non-negotiable. That is what people are looking at. People want justice because we feel, say, some individuals being to me, and by the virtue of the fact of winning to me, we are Ghana for ball, Ghana for chrono, and we are not going to sit down for that particular thing to continue. And the only way to stop it under this John Mahama administration is to by punishing those who stole in the past. And you need to show your friends a readiness. You need to show certain combativeness, certain your friends a willingness. Be a man for who say we are really serious. Yes, plea bargain. Maybe people don't know. You see. This whole concept of plea bargain, emerged somewhere in the 19th century in America. And the reason was quite just simple, Okay, America, those in the 19th century, before it became institutionalized in common law jurisdiction, America started first. Now, they did now, court now cases no door to because na crime was on the industrial way, na crimes cost to be pray. Defendant and prosecutor tell us and send me doors until the more to say would for no heaven. Now you pay and Samamra. Then they started negotiating with the offense and the guilty plea for no. Now say are you ready to bring it? Me the beba na ya maubi 1 year kodem na. Say by pressure na the case load na wo ho no. Ye be free na judges le benya omuwe. When they started in America, one thing and very common is it undermines justice. Because the whole essence of this criminal justice system is to make sure we get justice. Because we need to make sure we balance the stakes. We affected we feel comfortable say yes, but they felt undermining justice. So the argument in the course then it got adopted into common law, your friends jurisdiction. And common law so you spread the baby and the woman. But the core criticism now has never changed. It undermines justice, Yet Kroma 2022 when they amended the law. And Crofono Mulidi amended law. The very people more chance who say, hey, mind they say the real do a level beer. Your coffee, and Liamaba Cobone. Until let us change the laws. Now I'm for plea bargaining, no message. Nasi Yakoviania, Quatrafio, Canasi, and Crofone be who can. All that you do is say, yes, and no crime fire. Many will be negotiated. So you see, that particular way now, Attorney General has become so much fixated on it. Or the Trump card or the Nam Town was a political card and could not play there at all. So you are just going by their playbook. If you are smart, I don't know whether you get the argument.
I get it.
Because he's the one defending most of these criminals today. And he's the one who led that particular thing because he was the Attorney General and Parliament as a rubber stamp entity. They had it slotted into our law. Yes, it will be good for good reasons, but not when the stakes are high. Highly contentious political issues are. The general public are looking for nothing because Ghana want blood. They want to see blood oozing because people have committed atrocities, both economic and political atrocities against this country. And they want to see people bleeding. So you cannot be playing plea bargaining and be using legal jargon. And the history, where it came from, and the major criticism I travel history with, and that criticism has never. The question is, so if it is about case loader, do we have issue with case load? And I say a case loader, they been a year to mitigate it. My culture say across the regions, court will be. So why can't we even decentralize this court system? Na se nipa na omo ye di obi asem watamale ye di obi de otachima ye di obi de osunya at the same time. And say any resources let us resource the entity just to ensure that the judiciary will have the capacity to be able to do some of these things. Because you see, we are not in a rigid your friend saying criminal justice system beer. Yes, you are operating a criminal justice system in isolation. We are doing politics and it is governance. So you see, when you stick to law and you forget about the fact that you are governing, you forget about the fact that you are leading people who have genuine sentiment. Nasa who play by the strict rules of law. Whenever also no, now what disconnected with the people.
Yeah.
Whenever also now the governance and the political aspect of it, what lose favor with the people and you go down. You understand?
Yeah.
So some of these things, you know, are meant for other private way or money they can argue. But when you are a part of a government and you are leading your friends at the judiciary, you cannot be playing this plea bargaining card. You need to make sure say Adena no satisfy what the people want. Or Ghana for instance, and you see some of the mistakes no a lot of mistakes. But NDC taking over power. When they started, your friends say no case, submission of no case, most of the I told you that this thing will come back to bite you. The very moment they started cutting people who you drench your credibility. So you know that it will not survive our ruling. And let us travel and let it die naturally. And people will not point fingers at you because you cannot be your friends are taking your people out of prosecution cases in the and expect to be the case. You see, some of this is common sense. If only you are willing. When that thing started, I said, "This you are shooting yourself in the foot." Say and I said, your friends saying, "Why I to force and I say, you didn't court." Now, I said, "No, what can I say? Who say Nima?" Because of say yes, ordinary that's what you're supposed to do. But exactly. Allow me to go through. Because a normal judicial system, yes, it is good to make that decision, but governance is part of it. Because at the same stage, we be a show. And it's a case make sure that you speed up the process and let the court pronounce judgment on it and set the people free. You don't cancel cases and expect to say amount for will agree with you when you go after these people. You understand? So I think that these are the mistakes. I know that they are buying at the early stages. And no, you appear a bit compromised. Amount for who will call left and now will call right. Because amount for because I was starting to for freedom. And then I'll over the prosecuting and then you may even have the will, but people don't even trust you anymore. Especially when you flip in this plea bargaining thing. So I think that the plea bargain, it's not what the people of this country want. They want their money to be recouped, especially where Nipone we are your friend saying phone away. Wako you say Fabra na ya say obi negotiate na sika no 16%. Even where the person is willing to pay extra, na me call Bank of Ghana na me could be $10,000 and $100,000. Na me di kodidwa.
Now the Koye investment. Now 10 years after, now 10% extra crime. You are motivating people to engage in criminality. And all that you have to do is to find good lawyers or make me a delay court case in court. Now with your business. I know that you make money and be able to pay and pay back. I am not sure that this plea bargaining thing is deterrent enough. We need to walk away from it. It is not for the AG to be negotiating for criminals on their behalf or whatever. We need to be very brutal and very ruthless, especially in America and other places. You see, democracy, or more called to a pointer, they've been able to attain economic independence. So in America, we are not still, the economy will not come down. We are starting from the ground. Try to build the economy. There should be zero incentive or motivation for people to engage in criminal economic crime. We need to make it a very high risk entity people will not like to go into. And the plea bargaining is not something to start with. I think Nasa existing criminal justice system to make room for say So this thing is not a novelty. The existing criminal justice system na the government opportunity to take the money and at the same time jail the person. You understand? So I think what the government will need now is the willingness to go after these people because Ghana for our watch so President Mahama top boss Ghana Nebia. Now or the $100,000 to be account to now 4 years or so. Not just criminals are still masquerading, walking on the street of this country. The government will suffer badly. I'm telling you. All right, my last topic, and to us, Omar Mohammed will say I found it so fantastic. Keep the fire, Ben Mohammed will say, what is